Hey everybody, this is David at Barnyard Bees. Kind of excuse my voice, I've had a bad cold and I probably don't sound normal, so I'm going to try to make this video anyway. This peach tree right here, there's two of them. And the honeybees are on them pretty good. I was out here this morning, it wasn't even 50 degrees yet, and they was all over this tree. And you can see right there in the background is the red maple that I usually talk about. Well, they didn't get much nectar off of it this year in pollen. So when they get the opportunity, and we just come out of a cold snap. It's been down in the, I think the lowest it got was maybe 19 at night. Not real cold, but colder than normal for this time of year, for beginning part of March. But anyway, I just wanted to show this tree and to kind of explain what the next video is going to be about. Is one part is going through the hive and explaining to the new beekeeper, because people just starting off with honeybees, they don't know what's what, and I can fully understand that. I can remember back years ago when I first got into it, and when you pull a frame out and look at it, it all looks the same. I mean, it's hard to, at that point, the first time you pull it out, capped brood and honey, and it all looks, at that point, when you first look at it, if you can remember back as a new beekeeper, most people can't reflect back and remember those times, how hard it was. So I'll be going through the hive and showing the new beekeeper what eggs look like, what larvae looks like, capped brood, drone comb, pollen, uncapped nectar, capped honey. So just that's what this next video is going to be about. It's just try to get people an idea, because I know the feeling when they get their honeybees and they install their package and they go through it, 9 times out of 10 they don't have anybody to show them what is what. And that's why I'd encourage everyone to go through our YouTube channel and look. We got a lot of instructional videos, and a lot of them focused towards a new beekeeper. There is a lot of stuff in there about queens. When I started the channel, I really thought it was important to focus, not all, but a lot, for the new beekeeper, because it's hard to find stuff that will help the new beekeeper out. So that's what we're trying to focus on. It's everything's starting to bloom here. The grass needs mowed. You can see there in the background we got Bradford pears bloomed out. They've already actually bloomed, and now the leaves are coming out, so they're not as pretty as they was. I got a pear tree right there just getting ready to bust out, and the bees will be all over it just like they are on these two peach trees. Now when I first pulled up to this, I thought it was dead, because we went through some freezing nights, and I have no idea how this is still alive. I really don't. These blooms, if they wasn't viable, the bees wouldn't be on them. And then there's a lot of bloom that hasn't even busted through yet. Yeah, the ducks are curious. Watch them. They're nosy. Surprised the geese aren't down here nosing around. If any of these animals ever see me out in the yard, they'll come right where I'm at every time. They like following me around for some reason. But anyway, that's about it. So just stay tuned for the video, and we'll go through that hive, and hopefully we'll educate the new beekeeper and get them started in their new hive. Okay, what we're going to do here, now this is for the new beekeeper that's never had bees, or maybe you've had bees a year and you still don't know how to identify what's what. And I just go through this hive right here and just pick out and show you what is what, so you can learn to identify in a frame. Because so many people has asked that's never had bees. They say, well, when I open the hive up, how can I tell what is what? And the easiest way I can explain is when you pull your frames out,
most of your honey will be towards the outside of the hives. And as you work your way into the inside, you'll get more brood and pollen and such. So the outside, usually, not always, in these small 5 frames, it can vary a little bit. But on the outside primarily, so you can see where I just pulled this out of this hive right here. Okay, this is capped honey right here. You can see where the bees are working on it. Underneath is uncapped honey, and probably where they've been bringing some in, because right now I got a hive top feeder on, so but not always necessarily. It could have been there for a while, that but it may just be evaporated down enough, and they just haven't had the resources or the right weather to cap it off as possible as well. So anyway, if you can remember what that looks like, it's capped honey. And I just walked up on this hive. I didn't put on a veil, nothing. So I'm hoping their temperament is okay. I guess I'll find out. And as we're working to the next frame over, it's got a little burr comb. I'm not going to worry about scraping that out today. I'm just going to go through and show you a few things. This hive here looks pretty good. Okay, see if we can get in the right lighting here. Okay, these small frames transition over pretty quick. So it went from all honey to the next frame is a little bit of honey on top. And then you can see, let me see if I can do this one-handed again. Right there, you can see in the cells is pollen. Now it'll vary in color. You can actually see some bees in there with some pollen. Let me see if I can get a better grip on this. And then I can actually see if it'll show up on the camera here. Can you see those little worm-like things there in the bottom? Okay, that's where she's laid an egg. And those will develop into, of course, honeybees. Now, when she first lays the egg, it'll be sticking straight up. These, let's see, can't tell from where I'm sitting. They're sitting down. So those was laid more likely, yeah. So there's one sitting up. She probably laid today. There's some laying down. Would have been from yesterday. And then from there, you'll see them transition. Let's see if I can find one here. I may have to look on that next frame. My arm is getting tired there holding it and trying to steal at the same time. Let's see. Okay, had honey all over my hand. Had to stop and. Okay, these aren't. I've got stung there a couple times. They don't have a veil on. They're not too happy I'm in here because it's in the evening. It's 5 o'clock, I believe, and starting to cool down, so they're starting to get a little bit fussy. This is a good looking little overwintered nuke, and we plan on starting splitting these here in about another week or two. So let's see if I can get this without them getting too angry. I just this was at the spur of a moment. I come down here to film this, but it was one thing I was wanting to add to one of our next videos. Okay, this right here is capped brood. You can see as you get more towards the center, you'll transition into more brood and less honey. And right there, well, there went the queen, just around the corner there. I just caught a glimpse of her. Mingled in there is a little bit of pollen. Right there, see that's sunken down a little bit. That is your pollen. Okay, look what I forgot to pull out. I'll show you if I forget. This is one of our splits that we did last year. This is one of the the ones, there's a queen, right there she is. And that cage never got pulled out. This was some of the splits that we took from Jimmy's yard. So, I forgot my cage, didn't I? Okay, let's see if we can get one more frame. We're starting to get a little fussy. You can hear the buzzing increasing. Okay, that frame there is probably going to take some work to get it out. They somewhat crazy combed it a little bit. Let's pull this one back out, see if I can find any on the other side. I was hoping to find some larvae. Okay, here's some right here. So let's see if I can move the bees out of the way. Okay. Let's see, by the time I gotta move, they can move right back. Okay, in those cells right there, you'll see like a little grub looking creature, and that's the larva. And as they mature, they will cap them off, just like you see these. These are capped brood. And then there's different stages of larvae in there. Here in this corner, let's see if we can move some out, is some smaller larvae. And grafting stage is right when when it's in the shape of a comma, but not a C. I'm trying to blow on them there, see if we can get them to move out just a little bit. But that'll kind of give you a primary idea. There's a queen running around again. Now here's some pollen right here. Or no, that's not pollen, never mind. Not the angle of it. Okay, right here, so let me show you. Here's some drone comb. The drone combs will stick out like a little 22 bullet sticking out of and it protrudes out past level with the comb, where the brood, the worker brood, is primarily just pretty much flat. It sticks up barely a little bit, but not much. But the drone, you'll see, sticks up a lot more. Okay, so that'll kind of give you an idea. This one here is a lot more bees in there than I thought. So we'll put it back together there, and that'll kind of give the new beekeeper an idea. So, and I always try to remember how I've got the frames out, because they will almost like a puzzle, they'll fit together a lot better. The shapes and the shape of the wax that they build and draw out. Okay, let's put it back, get it all back together now. Get our feeder back on. Okay, well, I hope that video helped you out. We went through the hive and identified a bunch of stuff. I want you to look at this. Everywhere I walk around, they're just like this. Watch how jealous. Watch him. He didn't do it this time. But while we're right here with the chickens, people worried about chickens eating their bees. Well, right here they are. If they was wanting to eat those bees, look here. That chicken even has bees on her tail. The chickens don't pay any attention. Look down through there. Now, I'm really surprised the bees aren't stinging them, because usually an animal they'll attack sometimes, but I guess they don't see that they're a threat like they used to attack my rabbit. But for some reason, well, of course, the only place they can really hit chickens right on the head. Anywhere else they're not going to do any good at stinging them. Now the cat, that may be a different story right there.
they have going on after the cats quite often. These hives are very thick today. It's like I said, we come out of that cold snap, and the bees are flying pretty heavy, and they're... Shut up, nobody asked you. But they're sucking this syrup down pretty heavy now. Remember I talked there about the last video how first few days they won't hardly touch it, but once they get a rhythm of eating this stuff, they will suck it down like crazy. And look how they've come up. And sometimes this happens. They've actually built comb up through that. Sometimes you got to get in there and clean that out. But these bees right here, they're bringing in tons of pollen in huge amounts of pollen. Look here. They don't pay attention to them. They know better. They will not eat bees because they'll take a sting when they swallow it. Now birds, they have a technique where they can get them, certain birds, but chickens apparently don't have that technique because they don't touch them. These bees are landing all over me. Look at that one there. It's got the huge amount of pollen on its leg. This is the best time of year right here, folks. When you get out and you come out of a cold snap and you see these bees flying like this, it's just an absolute treat to see these bees working like they are. It's just coming out of the winter, and hopefully this is the last bad cold snap that we have. I got to get out here tomorrow and get these things fed. Hopefully you're doing the same thing. We went through a cold snap and I had feed in there. It did not hurt the bees. You know, some say don't feed them when it's cold, but I've not had any bad experience feeding them like that. They've all sucked this down. There's the same amount of hives here that there was before the cold snap, and they are flying like crazy, and pollen's coming in, so they're increasing, and they're hungry, and they need food. So that's about it. Don't forget, folks, we have packages, Nucs, queens, bee equipment, anything and everything pertaining to bees at barnyardbees.com. And don't forget, click on the little bell. You'll be notified of new and upcoming videos. Like and subscribe. And thanks for watching Barnyard Bees.